Hey, what's up everybody, Nexil here. Today we're playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and we're going to be talking about the Supernova ++ Key R24 banner that dropped a few days ago in Global. So as always, we are going to do our banner analysis, we'll talk about the medal, the draw odds, and finally my thoughts and recommendations on whether or not I think you should be pulling for this medal. Also in this video, we will be doing our free pull that you inherently get from the banner. So let's go ahead and start by talking about the banner. So one of the first things you always want to check whenever a new banner drops is how long you have to decide until the banner goes away. In this case, you have until July 20th to decide if you want to pull for this medal, and that's a lot of time. Normally, we only see about 2 weeks before a banner goes away, but in this case, we had 20 days, and that is a crazy amount of time to decide, or if you need to build up your jewels or something like that. So it's cool that we have a long time to decide on this one. In terms of what the banner is, it's nothing different than what we've seen before. So after the first pull, it's going to cost you 3,000 jewels per pull. You're going to get to 3 Kingdom Hearts 3 medals with every single pull, and generally these are going to be used for sub-slots. You're going to sell them for draw points, or you're going to keep them for some sort of niche ability like Anti-Aqua's Supernova Attack, or you need some defense piercing with Kingdom Hearts 3 Roxas, things like that. You'll also be getting 1 trait medal for Key R24 with every single pull. You get 6 5-star or higher medals, which again will generally be sold for draw points, or yeah, either draw points or you keep them for sub-slots. You'll also be getting 10 VIP coins with every single pull, and remember, these VIP coins are valid for the entire month of July. So they'll expire by the end, but considering that it's just the 4th of July right now, you have a long time to decide where you want to spend these VIP coins. Since this banner is around for another 16 days, those VIP coins can work pretty much on this medal all the way up until June 20th. So VIP coins, you can use them on any active banner, which is pretty sweet. You also get 3 magic gems with every single pull. Again, just a little extra for the amount of jewels that you are paying. So the big catch here is that Supernova ++ Key R24 is guaranteed within 10 draws. And remember what we say about pulling, you always got to make sure you can mercy the medal if you're going to pull. So minus the first pull, because you get that for free, it's going to cost you 27,000 jewels to get this medal. Not just that, but that's just getting the medal. So even after you get it after those 10 pulls, you still only have 10 traits. You'll likely need to buy 1 or 2 of the 10 trade packs in the Moogle shop. So that's an additional 1,000 to 2,000 jewels. So realistically, you're still spending around 30,000 jewels just to get this medal and perfect it, which is heavy. That is a lot. That is literally 2 5-pull mercies, and we've seen some crazy stuff come out in 5-pull mercies, like Kingdom Hearts 3 Elsa, Strikeform Sora, Kingdom Hearts 3 Dark Riku. Those are all amazing medals that came as 5-pull mercies. So the fact that this is twice that amount is pretty absurd to me. So let's go ahead and take a look at the template for Key R24. So it is going to be an upright magic medal. It is a tier 10 medal with a base strength of 49,011, which is starting to look like the new standard. That's exactly the same amount of strength that Master Xehanort had. So we're looking at new medals that have a base strength of plus 2,000 more than the previous tier 10. So things like Dark Riku or Strikeform Sora had roughly about a 47,000 strength. Now we're looking at 49,000 strength, which is plus 2,000 strength more. In terms of the base defense, it's nothing special at 21,519. It's got a multiplier of 20.54, which is, in my opinion, not that great. If they wanted to make a stronger medal, they should have bumped up the multiplier as well, because it's relevant for copy medals. Remember that copy medals, one of the stats that it copies from its target is going to be the multiplier. And remember that copy medals tend to have a lower strength than what the meta is. So for example, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 Ansem the Wise had a maximum strength before any traits of about 44,000, something like that, 45,000. And if you used Ansem the Wise with Key R24, it would be a medal with 45,000 strength, copying a 20.54 multiplier, which is pretty just okay in that regard. So I think they should have made the multiplier a little bit higher because it would make it better with copy medals, but maybe that was the point, is that they wanted to nerf the copy medal ability for it a little bit. In terms of the gauge cost, it costs 3 gauges to activate, which is a pretty decent gauge cost to have. It's at the level where you don't need an SP reduction skill in order to make it work properly. So for example, let's just say you had extra attack on Key R24 and it would cost you 6 gauges a turn if you had a plain attack boost max on it, and that's actually a pretty reasonable amount of gauges. You can get around it with a lot of things like Kingdom Hearts 3 Nominee with extra attack, or even the Supernova plus Terra Xehanort B that was released for VIP this week. In terms of the number of hits, it does 1 hit, which is really good for certain events such as high score challenge challenges or speed contests or raiding off Lux hours, because one-hit medals tend to net you more bonus points when it comes to those events. If you haven't checked it out already, or if you don't understand, definitely look into what the L method is, and it explains to you how one-hit medals can net you extra bonus points for certain quests. So looking at the special attack, it's really nothing too special by this point. So it's a one-turn special attack buff, and it is self-buffing. It is going to give you the perfect buffs and debuffs for upright magic. So it takes care of the general upright and magic buffs and debuffs, giving you the maximum amount it could possibly be at for now, which is capped at 15. In terms of the special attack, again, for one turn, it is going to give all magic medals plus 8,000 strength. With extra attack, we're looking at plus 16,000 strength, which is really good. But again, we saw it on the Supernova plus Master Xehanort medal that came right before this. It also gives a special attack bonus increase of 220%, which isn't super amazing because, again, we rely on Supernova attacks to give us plus 300%, plus 320%. So the special attack bonus isn't particularly too relevant for the special attacks. In terms of the effects, though, we're looking at pretty much nothing, giving you only count plus minus 0. But honestly, I don't think that's such a great effects package. We're still missing a lot. We don't have any sort of like reflection, no defense piercing, no next metal conversion, no healing whatsoever. So it's a really vanilla special attack. Really, it doesn't do much else aside from self-buffing, which is easy to get around nowadays because almost every single medal that comes out is self-buffing. So for example, Supernova Illustrated Sword took care of his own buffs and cost you half the amount of jewels. So honestly, this is a pretty vanilla damage medal in my opinion, based on everything we've seen so far. In terms of the Supernova attack, it's still nothing particularly special. It's going to be a one-turn buff that is self-buffing for upright magic. Now, this is particularly good just because whenever you have a Supernova attack that self-buffs you all the way back up to perfect buffs, that's really good because it gives you the buffing on command. So let's just say you're fighting a barrier master or a false master, or you're fighting something like a Gula where the counterattack will debuff you. Activating the Supernova attack on command and restoring those buffs and debuffs when you need them can be very, very, very powerful, especially when you get debuffed and you don't want to waste your metal damage and things like that. So it's like, all right, I just got debuffed. I'm at like 0 strength now. Let's go ahead, proc the Supernova attack, and we are back and we are ready to go at maximum damage. So self-buffing on the Supernova attack, in my opinion, is really, really good. In terms of the buffs, it gives a base strength increase to all magic medals by plus 12,000. And that's, again, we've seen it with the Master Xehanort. It's like plus 2,000 strength higher than the previous set of tier 10s, but that's not particularly amazing. When you take the base strength increase from the Supernova attack and the special attack, you are looking at plus 28,000 strength going to magic medals, which is a really decent number. Again, that's like literally a tier 2, tier 3, 7-star medal being slapped on in terms of strength. So that's really good. It also gives special attack bonus plus 320%, which is starting to become the standard that we see now. It was 320% with Master Xehanort, now it's 320% with KR24. In terms of the effect package, really nothing is going on. Again, super vanilla damage right there, with it triggering before slot 1 in PvP, which is good because it'll give you the buffs, but at the same time, it doesn't do anything else. If it had like defense boost piercing 100%, that'd be pretty sweet, things like that, but unfortunately, it does nothing else. So all in all, looking at this medal, it's just a big, beefy damage package. That's really all it is. It doesn't provide you any PvP utility. It doesn't give you any sort of tricks up your sleeve. This is just straight hardcore damage crashing into the enemy. So let's go ahead and take a look at the draw odds really quick, and honestly, it's nothing special. The most special thing about this banner is that the first pull is free, but in terms of the draw odds, you have no better chance of getting KR24 than any other Supernova medal before the Mercy. So the rule of thumb stays the same. If you can't Mercy the medal, don't pull for it, and that is super important, especially with this type of banner that costs you 10 pulls in order to get it. Make sure you can do the remaining 9 pulls after your free pull. If you've only got 26,000 jewels by the time this banner ends, don't pull, because you don't want to end up with 8 useless pulls plus the free pull, and then you're just 1 short of the Mercy, and then you end up not getting the medal, and you're also out 24,000 jewels, which is a really bad scenario to be put in. Remember that 30,000 jewels is 2 5-pull Mercies. So if you can't Mercy the medal, don't pull for it. That rule stays the same. So what are my thoughts and recommendations on pulling for Supernova plus KR24? Number one, just do the free pull. Like, I want to stress this because some people might have missed that part of the notice where the first pull is just absolutely free, costs you no jewels, no consequences, nothing. And you could potentially get KR24 on that first pull, which is pretty sweet. I actually know of 2 people in my Discord server who were able to get KR24 on that free pull, which is super good. But aside from that first pull that's free, I really don't recommend pulling for KR24 because it costs 9 additional pulls after that first one just to mercy it. And honestly, if you ask me, that's crazy. That is literally 2 5-pull mercies right there. I don't know if this is going to be the new future where every new medal is going to cost you 10 pulls, but honestly, if they bring back the 5-pull mercy, then it's likely that's going to be a better bang for your buck. Remember that jewels are the infinite value resource in this game. Your jewels now are going to be just as valuable as your jewels in the future, whereas I can see a medal like KR24 devaluing very quickly. Now, when we talk about KR24 and it being just a damage medal, I prepped a few examples just to show you how it compares to what's out right now. So let's go ahead and compare it to Strikeform Sora. So what we did in this case, again, we're comparing 2 tier 10s because we'll get back to it in a little bit, but I want to start thinking about what tier 11s are going to look like. So in terms of comparing it to Strikeform Sora, who only gives plus 6,000 with a special attack and then plus 10,000 power metal strength with a Supernova Attack, comparing that to KR24, it does roughly about 30,000 damage less. Now, when we crank out some more math, and just figure out how much percent more KR24 does, it only does 11% more damage than Strikeform Sora. And remember that Strikeform Sora was more of a complete package that did a significant amount of hits. It was great for PvP, so there was a lot of extra utility built into Strikeform Sora. KR24 lacks that and only does 11% more damage, which is pretty not super great in my opinion. That's not a lot. That's not a lot for me to justify that KR24 is better than Strikeform Sora. Now, let's do more of a relevant comparison because when you pull for KR24, you likely want to make it your magic staple, your upright magic staple. And right now, my upright magic staple is going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 Elsa. Now, let's compare Elsa's strength and damage to KR24, because again, these are both upright magic medals. So Elsa on the second turn, so let's just say you had Elsa extra attack. On that first turn is plus 5,000. On the second turn is plus 10,000 from the special attack, plus the 4,500 from the Supernova Attack. After you do all that math, the damage for Elsa comes out to roughly about 229,022 as opposed to KR24's 324,446. Now that number seems like a lot, and it actually is. So when we compare the two, that's a 41% increase in damage, and that is significant. On top of that, again, KR24 is self-buffing, the Supernova Attack is self-buffing, but also comes with, again, a much wider utility package, being able to be defense piercing, being able to cast that 100% magic metal reflection. So I honestly like utility a lot more than damage. 41% is a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but considering that you can use Elsa in more than just straight PvE, I think that's really strong. Again, utility for me is what makes a medal worthwhile, and it becomes an investment, as opposed to damage medals, which can very easily be replaced. Again, they could replace KR24 very quickly by just releasing tier 11s. So what are my thoughts on what tier 11s are going to look like? Tier 11s are inherently going to have a higher special attack bonus than tier 10s, and likely it's going to go up by anywhere between 40 to 50%. So the special attack bonus of tier 11s is likely going to be around 370 to 380, which again completely covers for the difference between Kingdom Hearts 3 Elsa and KR24. On top of that, I do expect tier 11s to also have more of an effect package, so being able to restore gauges or being able to do defense boost piercing, things like that. So I expect more from tier 11s, and really these current tier 10s like Master Xehanort and KR24 sort of seem like just a stepping stone for tier 11s. So hopefully these 10-pull mercies don't become a thing. I'm really not a fan of them because that's a lot of jewels, and it takes a lot of time for a free-to-play player to stack up 30,000 jewels. But with that being said, if you do pull KR24 on the free draw, definitely just shell out the traits for it, because at that point, Number 1, you save 27,000 jewels, so you definitely have leftover jewels. And number 2, Key Art 24 is not a bad medal. It's a very meta level medal. I just don't see it lasting a long time because, again, once tier 11s roll around, they're inherently going to have a higher damage output than the tier 10s that are out. So Master Xehanort and Key Art 24. But with that being said, let's go ahead and do our free pull. Again, if we are awesome enough to get it on the first free pull, we definitely shell out for the traits for sure. But let's see if we can get the super awesome Key Art 24 on the first pull, which would be absolutely ridiculous. So free pull, come through, give us the Key Art 24. Ah, nuts. Okay. But again, this is draw points. This is free draw points. We've got like tier 8s here, so we've got some cool stuff. And remember that having the trait medal unlocks it in your album. So in case you want to see the artwork later, you can totally do that. So we got free VIP coins, we've got free draw points, we got free gems, which is pretty sweet. So unfortunately, we did not get Key Art 24 in our free pull, but it's pretty sweet just to have a free pull in general. But before we go, let's actually just show you the artwork, because again, unlocking the trait medal will unlock the slot in the album. Alright, here is Key Art 24, and that is the super amazing artwork associated with it. But with that being said, that's the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer when I have the time. If you'd like to join my Discord for some off-hours help, definitely just hop down. The link is right there below the screen. Just type it into your URL, and you are good to go. But that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, until next time, take it easy.